What's up, Internet? Rick here in Virginia on the road, the wide open road. Just kind of wanted to shoot a video as like a, I don't know, preview of things to come, kind of a why behind the channel a little bit. So I am in my mid-30s, 5 children, 1 wife that I know of, though I almost got married in Vietnam one time. That's a good story. And I am about to make a pretty significant career change. Been in ministry, had some odds and ends jobs, but about the last 15 years I've been in ministry. So for the first time in that amount of time, I'm gonna be doing something else. And I'm gonna be driving semi trucks with my father-in-law. Why would somebody do that? That seems kind of like a big shift, and it is. So I just kind of want to tell a little bit of the story of how it came to be. I always grew up in a church-going family. Family was, I would say, devout. Even uncles, aunts, my grandparents, just grew up in and around Christianity. And when I was 17, I was not really taking that very seriously. I was a 17-year-old. So I was doing all kinds of goofy stuff. But I ended up going in the summer, I went to a university where they had a speaker there and a guy named Francis Chan, if you know who that is. And he just articulated God in a way that I had never, it never had clicked for me before. And for the first time, I had this profound personal spiritual experience. And maybe you've had something like that before, maybe you know, but just completely upended, my worldview, the way that I looked at life and the way that I made choices. And anyway, in that really moment, it was one moment, my values shifted, and I sort of realized that I wanted my life to mean something. I wanted to do something that mattered beyond just, go to school, get job, acquire stuff, die. Like, it just didn't seem to be something that I wanted to sign up for. And so the church really provided me a way of fulfillment. And for me, for many, many years, I just have always been not unquestioningly, that's not the good word, but just really passionate about the church. Still am passionate about the church. You'll kind of understand what I mean, I hope. But and so went into church work and started to small local churches and started a few churches. So had a lot, like, really cut my teeth in ministry. By the time I was 19, I was part of a church planting team. And I didn't get paid any money for many years for doing that kind of thing. But still, it was like a passion project for me, and so I was working other jobs and doing other things. So what would that have been? At 19, I'm 36. So 17 years ago was really when I first started that whole journey. And that journey took me a lot of places. I was in Virginia Beach, and I was in Virginia for a time, and I was in Ohio, where we grew up, at a church. Then, we got married and had kids and were serving in the local church. And then we moved up to Canada to start a church just outside Toronto. And then now most recently been here in North Carolina for the last 4 years and have loved every second of it. I've gotten to do a lot of different things, student ministry and worship and preaching and teaching and, college ministry, Great Commission Bible Institute. And, I've been a student and I've been all kinds of things, counselor, kind of seen it all. I used to joke that I was like the church Swiss Army knife, where I can pretty much do any job, but it's just probably not excellently. It's like, the Phillips head screwdriver doesn't quite fit, and the blade's dull, and I have this weird corkscrew on the end. So that's kind of always been a little bit of a jack of all trades in the church world. And now that I'm in my mid-30s, I think I have really, I think about my kids and I think about the future differently than I did when I was 19. When I was 19, you're scrappy and single and kind of just ready to do whatever. And I think I'm in a place now in my life, and maybe you can relate to this, where I just sort of, I want to do the thing that I was like built for, I don't know that I can articulate what that is. And so about a year and a half ago, I would say, I was really asking that question. Like, what am I made for? What can I do well? What am I passionate enough about that I'm not going to just feel like I'm punching in and punching out? And still hold on to that idea that I wanted to make a difference. So, yeah, I began asking that question. I ended up really taking a trip by myself. And for me, coming, obviously with a huge emphasis on faith background and stuff, I just was praying and praying about all of these questions. And what I realized was that the thing that ignites something in my soul like nothing else is to teach people. I love to teach, and I get it honest. I mean, about 80% of my family, my mom and my sister, my grandparents. I've got grandparents that were teachers. We've got cousins and uncles and aunts. We joke you could throw a rock in my family and hit a teacher. Um, if it's at all genetic, I definitely have it. And I love that, the opportunities that I get to share. That spirit of curiosity and discovery is just it makes me the most happy I've ever been. Um, I I yeah, I think that was a big discovery for me. And so it sort of set me down a path of saying, okay, if that's what I'm put on this earth to do, then I probably need to be doing it. And in the current role that I have in my church vocation, I just don't really do that much of it. I've loved working with small groups at my church and stuff like that. It's been an amazing experience with amazing people, amazing team, amazing leaders, but just not what I think I was put on this earth to do. So I started to go to school, and school is time consuming and expensive, and I don't have time or very much money. It kind of was this, I tried to do both and came to realize that I needed to do one or the other. All the while, and maybe I'm jumping ahead too much. Actually, really what happened is that I was doing both and not very happy, trying to get through school to maybe one day do something with this degree, and nebulously had this idea of teaching, but not really either. I just sort of was doing something. And my wife realized that she's very smart. My wife, Austin, I'm sure you guys will get to know her, but she is very smart and very astute and observant. And she just noticed that I was a big grump and not super healthy. And so she started to kind of poke and prod, and I think she really had her thumb on the pulse of really what was going on in my head, maybe even more than I did. She had been talking, her dad had started this trucking company a couple of years ago. He's been trucking for a while. And, he was looking to expand the business and, talking about kind of half seriously, always like, hey, if you want to make more money and you want to have more time to go to school, you should come and work for me. And all I got is time. And I never really took it seriously. And then Austin sort of was the first one, I think, to see the opportunity. And if we were willing to risk it, to try this new thing, to facilitate this dream. And then there's also another itch in me, sort of entrepreneurial business side of me, and to start new things, which has always been part of my heartbeat as well. I love the adventure of new projects. And so I think she just with wisdom understood that this was a real opportunity to do both things, and to sort of start a business and carve out a place for me and for my father-in-law, and for our families, and for my kids that, is hopefully going to be really successful and lucrative. And at the same time, facilitate me to finish school and to, at some point in the future, to teach the Bible, religion, spiritual life, church history. I just love all that kind of stuff. So, that's sort of the dream. The avenue towards that is going to be to drive a truck. And so I'm winding down my ministry adventure for the time being. And in the next couple of weeks, I'll be getting my CDL, my commercial driver's license, and I'll be out on the road That'll take me through January, and then in February I'll be out on the road doing what's called over the road driving, long haul driving with a team, and my team is me and my father-in-law, Brett. This channel, this adventure, I just wanted to document it, if for no other reason than for my own sake. But I think we're gonna learn a lot along the way. What does it look like for a goofball in his 30s to just totally shift gears in life and to try something new and see where it takes me? Along the way, to meet people and ask questions and, find little ways to amuse myself. And I think we'll have a lot of fun along the way. I've already had just the inspiration of watching you guys experience the worst truck stop I can find with me, like, what is the worst thing I can eat at a truck stop, and just all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if you are interested at all, join me and we'll try to post a lot, and I'll try to be really communicative. I think that part of it is that I'll be lonely on the road, and so you guys can keep me company while I am doing all sorts of stuff. I'm going through a tunnel right now, which is kind of fun, but that's why it looks like it does. So anyway, I hope you hang with me, and I hope we get to learn and see a lot together, and I hope that you make fun of me mercilessly, because I think that's what the internet's all about, right? So bon voyage for now. We'll workshop a lot more catchphrases and goofy stuff. But yeah, glad to have you with me. We'll see you.